like a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here, I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together, it's so beautiful, you and me. We're meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me, meant to be outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Hello, cousin. I am Uncle Mike, your favorite gamer's favorite uncle, and welcome to Tuesday. And I haven't been streaming here for a while because I have a back injury. It's feeling pretty good, so I'm going to attempt to live stream here for 1 hour. I live streamed last time for 2 hours, and let me put it this way, it was one of the most painful experiences that I have had in a very, very, very long time. It was pretty excruciating to be sitting that long, so I am shooting here for 1 hour to live stream, and we'll then evaluate. So I think I'm on the mins, but I don't want to overdo it because I really would like to get back into live streaming and be able to sit down. So, but maybe in the future I'm going to have to go ahead and do some type of either changing the table, changing the chair, taking breaks more often. I've went ahead and I have built in a be right back scene, and so that's one of the things that we might have to do. But yeah, I am loaded up on muscle relaxants and anti-inflammatory and some pain stuff, so we'll see if I get loopy again. But we are back here playing Citizen Sleeper, this really, really cool game that has a lot of elements from tabletop RPG. Is one of the reasons why then I found the game. So, but let's go ahead and take care of some things. Thank you for joining me, cousin. And remember, thumbs up because you are amazing. Also, make sure if you would please go click the like button. That helps find other people who are interested in the same stuff, basically video game, this game right here, Citizen Sleeper, and so on, because it activates the YouTube algorithm. Can't really move like I used to. It really hurts when I twist and move the right way. So, but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and load up our extractor character. And again, this game is heavily based in tabletop RPG and also text-based. So it has great artwork, neat kind of background sound and stuff, but it is pretty much based in text. And so here we are back in the eye, which is our ring world. That's how I like to say what it is. We've got a 2 dice here. Let's go down here into the nodes here. This is basically the computer system, if you want to call it. And yes, we have got something here. So let's go ahead and get some data here. All right, so we picked up some data there. Let's go ahead and back out here, and we should be able to then, where was that? You know, we can go in and we can submit this data. I think it was it down here in down here that we could submit the data? Nope, that's definitely not it. That's the Ripper worm. It might have been in one of the bars or something, if I remember now. That's the ship mine. That's a mission that we've got. Yep, I can't really remember where that was at. There it is. Tracking data. Alright, so we've got some data there, but this really doesn't help us much, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that. We're out of dice here. We've got 140 crypto, so let's go ahead and sleep. So let's end the cycle. Get our 4 new dice. I think we'll get 4 dice here in the morning. Yep, we got, ooh, those are some pretty good. We're starving, so we can actually go ahead and see if we can get some energy here. Yeah, 3 energy. That was a good roll right there. So again, on top of top there, that's our dice that we get every day or every cycle. So we need to continue to hack into there. We don't really have good dice for doing that, so let's go ahead and okay, that's the Ripper worm. That's where we gotta we can come over here and we can do some of this, because we've got some definitely almost 100% positive. So energy, okay, that's good, that's good. Actually, I might go ahead offloading scrap those. So we got plenty of time. It's staying there. Got some scrap allowance that we can do, where we can buy some scrap. You know, I think I actually might do that. We've got scrap. That's a mission there. Let's go see if we got some other missions that we can do. Some drives, as they call them. Alright, can't do anything there. We don't have enough goodies yet. Alright, here we go. Let's see, mushrooms, and buy some stuff. So yeah, we really don't have much. We've got these good dice to do. We can actually, I guess, go to the bar and do a bar shift. So let's go ahead and do that. Neutral outcome, so that's good. We'll go ahead and do this. So again, the drives are what are the missions based on your dice roll. So good service, there we go. Again, a neutral outcome, but we got some money, so that's good. We are now out of, let's take a look. What do we got? We still got that 1 data. I don't think there's anything else for us to do down here. Let's just see here. Let's see what we need. So that's where we can submit the Ripper worm. Let's just look and see what we need down here while we're down here. So 2, a 1, 2, 1. So it looks like 1s and 2s are really for the data. Yeah, 1. Yeah, so low rolls are definitely what we need down here. Because in here then is... We don't have that, so we gotta get that. We got a lot of intertwined missions right now. All right, we are full on energy now, so we'll lose 2 energy because of the change of cycle, but that basically going to the next day. All right, so now we've got some stuff here. Got some good rolls. We're going to use that too to extract data, which gives us Havenage data. Alright, so this hunter down here now is back. Those familiar threads wrap around you, bind you, test you. Entity, submit. Hunter strange head bobs in your vision. Your ally in the sealed dock cannot save you. In that globe head, you see swirling strings of data, so many spinning there that they threaten to tear through the thin skin, and wipe out any void around. What happened to this creature? The threads squeeze and you lose any sympathy you might have had. You must escape. You lash out once more, pushing Hunter back, severing threads that regrow as fast as they are broken. As you slip away, you realize you have to find a way to deal with Hunter once and for all. This is getting too dangerous. Alright. Alright, so we've got... But I don't think I've got any way to... No, they all need 1s and 2s, so we don't have that. So now we've got some good rolls here. This guy is about to leave, so he's about gone. And I don't think that really helps us out. Let's go over here and see what we've got. We could also then buy more stuff over here, but again, that's just time, so that doesn't really help us at all. Okay, so that the Ripper is going through, so that's good. Just looking for any type of missions or anything that we can do. All right, so here we go. Junior Tech. We can actually do some stuff over here. This is actually so Welder's Mate. So let's go out of here real quick and let's look at our character. This is our character sheet, and for interface we have a chance of getting money. For engineer we have a chance of getting scrap. Alright, so I think what we'll do is we'll do engineer here first and see how that works out, see if we can get some, because that's really what we are. I think we're going to stay here. And we're getting some money, so that's... Alright, we got a random scrap item, so that's good. We've got over 200 credits now, or chits. Chitsanistas. Alright, so... I don't think that there was any place to use our... We need a hive mind thing. This is where we can actually sell the components. But did we have another place now though that we could sell stuff? That's the knife data. Oh, going to the same place. I need to use the D-pad so I can control it better. There we go. All right, so nothing there. Can't do anything there. I don't have enough. I'm not good enough yet for them. And these are looking for mushrooms. So no, this is the place that we need to be. So we can sell our You know, I might not sell it. We got over 200 credits, and it looks like 100 credits is to get our condition back up. So I think what we'll do here is go ahead and sleep. We'll go down to 1 energy because of the cycle. We'll lose some conditioning, but we got enough money to get that back, so I think we're going to be okay. Alright, so we've got 2. So we can do some stuff down here in the network. So a little bit of money, and now some habited data. Which one is this? This is just a keynote, but it's nothing that we want. That's also a 2, but let's go see if we can keynote. This agent is a 1. What about this agent? It's also a 1. So we've got the 2, so let's go ahead and do this one then. Alright, so we've got a bunch of data now. Alright, we are good to now go talk here to Feng. The Ripper Worm has gone through. As you arrive, Feng comes across, striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, Sleeper. He puts a hand on your shoulder and turns you back to the way you came. Alright, you're just going to follow him here. He steps in the passageway, guiding you downring towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but I have something of an opportunity. The data you ripped, well done, by the way, he grins. Tells me Hardin is making a rear inspection of the sidereal horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Feng takes a sharp turn to a dimly lit side passage. That's right, it's the perfect time to confront him. Feng slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where somewhere a water pipe drips in the black. It's him, Sleeper, the same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name. An entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing. Slipped into Heavenage when it first broke off from the Union. He paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, Sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here, running the station one day, and the next, Erland's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop. As new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them in, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses. The whole time Solheim was folding up, dragging into court cases in the central system, while the severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came, and after the collision at Dock 2, a young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died, thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. So there's this guy here, right? The original guy. People like to tell stories about Erland, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true, but my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock, while my father joined the improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Feng paused in the dark. They sealed it up, though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoned every one of us to the black. Apart, Feng finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning. from shits like Hardin, shits who held their place, rode it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Fing starts walking again. That's why I can't just let him strut about the shipyard. This time, his past catches up with him. Just gonna stay silent. Let it kind of work itself out. You know, see what the story's about. Fing rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass roofed. Through the ceiling, you can see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by flashes of plasma torches. The vast bulk of the sidereal horizon comes into view, like the ruins of a toppled skyscraper lying across the ring. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Let's go. Fing grins. Let's go shows this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the sidereal horizon always appearing through windows. It looks like a corpse of a whale, suspended, skeletal, imposing. Rosalie! Hello, Rosalie. Thumbs up because you are amazing. Very nice. Hi, Tuesday here. I am, what am I? I'm about 20 minutes into about a 1 hour stream because I have a back injury here. And so sitting and then standing up is very, very painful. So I'm going to limit it to 1 hour tonight. We are playing Citizen Sleeper, which is this text-based tabletop RPG on the Xbox Series S, and so that is why I'm doing a lot of reading here. It has dice where you get to pick what you want to do and all this, and you also have to manage your resources and stuff, and so there is a level of survival here. So, but yeah, welcome. And so continuing on here, Fing seems to know exactly where he is going, but before long you cross into a huge dry dock locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network and platforms of scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Yeah, now it's been, what, a little over 2 weeks ago, I injured my back lifting something, and so I've got this, sciatic nerve that, that really comes and goes and so on, and so sitting is actually fairly comfortable, but then when I go to stretch out, then that's actually when it hurts. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Last time I did a live stream, I did it for 2 hours, and you can watch the live stream, probably look pretty normal. But I'll tell you, that was one of the most painful nights I've ever had in my life. And so I don't want to do that again, so I have limited it to 1 hour here tonight. So both you and Fing spot them at the same time, a group walking slowly across the gantry, and at the front 2 men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other sick thin, cleanly dressed with a shock of gray hair. So basically we're on the space station where this like cyborg kind of entity, that's kind of the story. It's actually been really, really neat because I remember this old game called Zork back in the day that was a text-based adventure game on like the Apple IIe and stuff, and it was just a lot of fun. So it reminds me of this, and so I'm really interested. I see the dress, Rosalie. I see the dress. I can actually now quite see that it's a you in a dress. So I know that you were, if I remember right, weren't there's a Greek wedding or something coming up here soon? So yeah, so all right, coming back to the story. You and Fing say his name in unison, and Fing sets up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer, the foreman gesturing to the work being done on the sidereal horizon's hull, and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst, Fing shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Hardin asks, quizzically raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Fing, and you see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. That's what we are called in the game. We are called sleepers because basically our consciousness has been downloaded into another being to transport us all, probably the thousands of light years out here to this ring world and this station. And so when we wake up, that's why we're called sleepers, because we've been in like this cryogenic sleep. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool background of the game. You are a traitor, Harden, a Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Fing's voice is steady, strong. You stand for everything the space station, the Eye, was rebuilt in the shadow of, everything Erling stood for, everything Heavenage stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everybody was held in place by the rattle of construction. Harden laughs. Well, good to meet you, too. He glances around to those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. Are you here from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Harden, inspecting Fing's clothing. Fing turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Fing and Harden, his hands drumming at his sides. Harden leans toward him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. We're going to stand by his side. It's true. As you begin speaking, Harden turns his attention to you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent. What are you if not exactly that? Ooh, yeah. Ooh. He looks around at the group, who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of Essenarp. You have no place in Heaven's shipyard. Who knows what signals you are sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Fing holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right, I am systems, and I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. He turns to the foreman again. So once again, I am asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Harden's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing sound of boots on the walkways coming from all angles at once and then settling upon you. Please, says Harden, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on boxy block sidearms at their sides. Fing spits. Harden? You shithead, you can't wiggle out of this one. A security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Fing turns and stares him down. Ooh. No. I think we're gonna try to calm him down here. I don't think it's good to get into a confrontation. You look at Fang, shakes his head, and puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's go, says Fang, and he pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. Very nice, Rosalie. Very nice. You seem to change your gamer, or not your gamer tag, but your gamer pick and stuff like that. Because I kind of remember, I thought you were wearing like a wedding dress for something, or something for some event, family event or something that was coming up. So yeah, but nice, yeah, beautiful. Yep, it's hard to see, but I can definitely see that it's you can definitely see the gamer pick. Once security has walked you out of the shipyard, nudge you back into the corridor. Fing picks up the pace. You try to keep up as he slips in the shadows of an entrance. Fing is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Sometimes something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a point around the ring. Got him, mutters Fing. Alright, yeah, he did something while we were in there. Yeah, he went in there, he did something. That little stinker. That Sleeper is something our worm added to Harden's personal slate. We are tracking his outgoing messages. Fing's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of a screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough, and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate, and you see the web is being drawn over a map in the ring, lines bouncing from point to point. All those dots, these are Harden's buddies, the one he is messaging right now, and we are going to find them all. Alright, what's the purpose? Of course, Harden isn't working alone. We need a full set or nothing. Finn glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper, but this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. Oh yeah, all right, Rosalie. With a pat on your shoulder, Finks drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. So that's one thing about this. Oh, we got an upgrade point. Yeah. So that's one thing interesting about this game, is since it is so text-based, there's a lot of reading then, of course, that you need to do and so on. But it's very interesting to actually play a text-based game where you don't have an avatar walking around and you're not jumping and bouncing and doing all this kind of stuff, but where you're reading, you have to make a mental picture in your mind, kind of like just a good old days. So I actually, really commend the developers for thinking about a game like this. So all right, so let's bring up our skills. So, well, Rosalie, that's always there's always perhaps an opportunity there. So, always an opportunity with change and chaos. There's always opportunity. All right, so now we can either upgrade our skills. We can hold on to one. So now we've got to decide what we want to do. It seems like I have been managing our resources really well, so our energy and so on. So I think I'm going to go with that one. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Let's go back. Because with scrap, we can then sell it, and that's for a set price. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that's also what we are. We're an extractor. So, all right. So now we can go. We don't have any more dice to roll. So now what we need to do is we need to go sell our stuff. So we do have one scrap item. There we go. So now we can sell that piece of scrap. So that is good. We don't have any dice to do, so we don't have anything there. But now one of the things that we can do is, so you've got several resources. You got your dice that allow you to then, in a way that you roll every day and you pick then what you want to complete and what kind of missions. You have chits, which are your dollars. Your money, and then you also have at the top there where the red bar is and it says declining, that is where you have your condition. And so we're declining right now, and so we're going to go into here and we're going to, for 100, we are going to buy some more stabilizer. And so now what we can do is when we go home, now we've got the stabilizer here, and so that is now going to fill up we are now stabilized, so that's basically us, our body and everything like that, so everything's looking good. And so now what will also happen is we should get full dice, so all 5 dice here as we go through. This is a cycle or a day cycle, so we basically have slept. So, all right, so we got some good rolls here. As you can see, we are starving, but we are an extractor, so one of the things that you get very early on, so basically a worker, that's how I see it, is you get this ability where you're able to then have a chance of getting energy right back. So there's our 2 energy that we've already got, and so now we can go out here and start to think about what we want to do out here in the world. So that's there. There was, yeah, right here, we can actually work on the good service. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. It's just, there's a chance that it might work and it might not. It did, so we got some more. So we've got some, here's all of our missions here. So we got to build a Neovin, a ship mine. So that's one of the things that we need to do. But I'm not really. Not really sure what we need to do. Get Sabine out, extract data for Sabine. But we don't have a good dice roll for that, so there's no reason to do that. He wants these caps, and I haven't been able to find anything else for those. Work your way into the shipyard crew. So I think we've got that now. We could actually do. So we were over here before, so let's go ahead and continue to work on this. So we'll just go ahead and do this 100 pot. Should give us 2. Yep, 2 on that one. Let's go ahead and do this one here. So these are basically the missions that you do, and then you got your dice across the top. Okay, so that already worked. All right, so now we've completed something. So, all right, each shift a crowd of would-be workers gathered outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are either called for a shift or you aren't. As you arrive, the crowd is restless and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those of you, like you, have graduated to the work team, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with a supervisor where you are praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. Hey, Sleeper, wait up! Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd, and you turn to see him pushing through, Mina crying in his arms. Yeah, I like him. Good to see you, friend. He is breathing hard because he helped us. After shutting through the waiting workers. You made the work team. Good for you. He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair as he does. Shh, baby, give me a second here. He smiles weakly at you as he comforts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both of her cheeks. As he does, you see he is clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. All right, working on a shift. You know how it is. He puts his hand on her shoulder, and she clings to his side. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. I think I'm just going to have to babysit. He stretches. I don't know who. A noise sounds from the entrance. A klaxon followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade to the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and is turned back toward the crowd, then glances down at the crumpled paper. That's my number. Shit, Mina. He starts patting the pockets of his gear and glancing around. I'm staying silent. Friend, look, I wouldn't ask. He glances behind him I've got to run. I need this. You get it, right? He glances back and forth between you and Mina. You'll have fun together, he offers nervously. He crouches to Mina. You're going to stay with our friend here, okay? They're going to keep you safe. And he stands back up. Here, take your bag. He shoves it into your hands. She's got food. She's got shit. I have to go. He backs away into the crowd. Mina, I'll be back real soon. Okay, be good. Then Lem disappears in the rolling crowd, who are now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staringly, suddenly a small, without Lem at her side. She fixes you with a dark-eyed stare that you can't quite read. All I have to say is... shit. I'm Uncle Mike. I am no parent. Okay. Alright. Maybe she holds the stare, unmoving. The two parallel tear tracks still glint on her cheeks. Okay, good. I'll look in the bag. You unlatch the top of the bag and see a few metal containers fastened from scrap components. A battered slate sits on top, blinking a low battery warning, and tucked beside it is a ragged rabbit, hand-sewn. I'll take the slate. Care less about... Oh. You take out the slate and press the power stud. The screen lights up, glowing blue. Mina stares at you as you look for something that might help. Games? Hello! As you try a few symbols, but all you can find is some kind of ornate ship salvage interface game. From the look Mina gives you, it seems like that's LEMS. You press a pencil icon and a pale screen pops up, blank apart from the color picker. Mina reaches up and grabs the slate, sighing at you. Daddy's friend made this. She runs a finger along the slate, leaving a blue streak behind. Look. She sits behind you and starts to draw. You sit too, looking over her shoulder as she doodles. What's that? Well, that's Wiggles, she says plainly, then hands you the slate. Draw a cat. Mina watches intently. Fuzzy, she smiles. I like your friend. She pokes your arm a couple of times. Are you really a robot? Sort of a robot. Yeah, she says, me too. Mina has more questions, lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe or if you rust. But before long, you were talking about rabbits and what Esther, the lady who usually takes her, smells like, and whether or not fairies live in the eye's heating pipes. You pass the time like this, sitting side by side on the floor on the walkway as others pass by, sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun the rabbit. As this is how Lim finds you, just as both of you are starting to yawn. He is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up into his legs and into his arms as he stumbles backwards. You two get okay? He asked, trying to keep Mina from climbing up on his shoulders. Yeah, we managed. Mina glanced carefully at you, hiding a smile that is slowly growing. Well, looks like Mini can be nice. He pokes her in the ribs and she squeals in delight. Thank you, friend. I mean it. He gives you a warm, wide smile. I owe you. Damn right you owe me. I don't do anything for free in this game. Look, he glances around. It seems like Esther, the lady who usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I really appreciate you coming down to our place in the low end. He grins sheepishly. If you have time. But now, I have to take this one to eat. He plays at biting Mina, and she giggles in response. See you, sleeper. He waves, and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spacers, and Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor in bright squeals. All right. New drive. New drive. So drive is a new mission. So. All right, you have been prompted to assemble a team working. Okay, so here we go. So now we've actually got something we can do. The vast colony ship is coming together. Block by each cycle you pass. All right. So, dear little assembly, you have been prompted to the assembly team working on the hull itself, welding the fabricated blocks of the ship into place. All right, so we got that now. What's here? Okay, that's, we don't have any data for that. Nope. Good thing is that the game also does with its symbol based, so. Alright, so that is out of service. That is our. This requires the core, so I gotta figure out how to get that. Buy rations. Bar shift, so we could do that. That would actually might be interesting to do. I don't have any data for that. All right, but this actually would really help out. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Alright, so we gained energy. We're almost done with that drive. Build the home. Gather scrap at the unit. There's a derelict unit in the low end that remains unclaimed. With lots of scrap and a little work, it could be yours. Oh, let's go check that one out, huh? On the low end. Yeah, right here. All right. All right. All right. So there we got where we can watch. And then here's another gather materials, but we don't have materials to gather right now. But we upgraded, so every time we do an engineer, we actually get that, because that's this right here. Every time, chance to get random scrap every time we do an engineer. Alright, so we don't have any dice or anything left over. Alright, so this is the same thing that happened the other night, and I'm not really sure if it's... But the controls, I can't manipulate, I can't change the view now. So all the buttons work, but the sticks don't. There we go. So it locks up every once in a while. So okay, so that's how we can at least fix it. Go into one that we can actually do, and then it changes. So, all right. So we've got our crappy little house here. We're going to be down to 1 energy, but we can probably fix that with some. So we can fix that with an endure here. So we got 1 energy back, so that's good. All right, so now what can we? All right, so that's how we can do that. We've got to build a home. We definitely need to gain access to this art fabricator, and I'm not sure where to do that. It looks like it's right there, but I don't think we can do anything in here. Yeah, we're not. Our interface needs to be better. Skill upgrade required. All right, so we cannot build the ship mine one yet. We've got to upgrade our. Alright, let's just go ahead and see if we can find. Well, we can continue the hull work. That's one thing we can. We've got that now. That's more data and stuff. Alright, let's see here. Was it right here? Yeah, this is... We've got a bunch of data here. Yeah, we've got 3 data. Let's go ahead and do this, and we'll at least get some money for this, huh? That's always good. I mean, money's always good here in the game, so... Alright, engineer. Alright, so this is the one I wanted to do right here. Alright, so there's that now. Oh, we got something new right here. Cross between the 2 yells of units. One of the carnivorous streets at the center of the low end. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of talva, the shouts of children, the whirl of air filters. Sleeper. You turn to see a man sitting at a tavla table alone, somehow untouched by the the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. I'll sit down. You sit at the metal stool and he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use in their place. Caster, he says by the way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps. Rudely splayed white and black. Night. He nods. The black casters are already on your side. Let's begin. You both take a plastic die each, pitted and worn, and roll to determine who starts. Caster rolls a 6, you roll a 4. I lead, he smiles, and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you. The dice changes hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Caster speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That's why I wanted to play you. You take your turn rolling a 5 and a 6. I'm going to play aggressive. I don't even know what the hell's going on. After all, a sleeper's mind must be somehow different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Caster talks, you target his counters, halting his progress but exposing your caps as you do. I don't mean to offend you, Caster meets your eye. I merely see that you are by definition different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He stacks a wall of counters, a boundary you must break. He hands you the dice. Do you ever think about this, sleeper, about